The member for Holt.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Defence. Will the Minister inform the House of the outcomes of the Australian-United States ministerial consultations last week?
The Minister for Defence.
Well, thank you, Mr Speaker, and I thank the member for Holt for his question and acknowledge his long-standing interest in the Australia-United States bilateral relationship and his interest in our alliance with the United States. Mr Speaker, the Australia-United States Ministerial Consultations, or OSMIN as they are generally known, took place in San Francisco on Wednesday and Thursday of last week. The Foreign Minister and I represented Australia, and the Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and the Secretary for Defence Leon Panetta represent the United States. The Australian delegation included the Chief of the Defence Force, the Secretary of the Department of Defence and the Secretary of the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. The ministerial consultations, Mr Speaker, took place at the Presidio in San Francisco, the scene of the signing of the ANZUS Treaty on the 1st of September 1951. And so the context of the meeting was the 60th anniversary of an alliance which has served both the United States and Australia well. It also, Mr Speaker, coincided with the 10th anniversary of the first invoking of the ANZUS Treaty in the aftermath of September the 11th, and underscored one point, which is this is an alliance which has served us well for 60 years, but which continues to adapt to modern challenges. The drafters of the treaty would not have envisaged that the first invocation of the treaty would have been, to use the term, against a non-state actor, against a non-nation state in the face of international terrorism. Indeed, Mr Speaker, the OSMIN meeting declared that the treaty itself could be invoked in the modern day in the face of a cyber attack, again something that the drafters of the treaty and the signatories to the treaty would not have envisaged. And so we've acknowledged that in the modern day a substantial cyber attack degrading, denuding or destroying the communication system of a country, denuding or degrading or destroying the communications and military communication system of Australia or the United States could in theory invoke the treaty. As Leon Panetta and I had said, this needs to be understood as a battleground for the future, not just for nation states but also for industry and commerce. As the communique outlines, Mr Speaker, we dealt not just with that modern challenge but a series of modern challenges: space and space awareness, ballistic missile defence, and the emergence in this century of the Asia-Pacific century, reflected by the growth of China, the rise of India, the rise in the growth of the ASEAN economies combined, the ongoing importance of Japan and the Republic of Korea, underlining the importance of the United States engagement in the Asia-Pacific, which has been a source of stability and prosperity in the Asia-Pacific since the end of World War II. In that context, Mr Speaker, as we did in Melbourne at the 2010 OSMIN meeting in Melbourne, we discussed the United States Global Force Posture Review, and a lot of work has been done in the intervening 12 months to better understand the potential for Australia and the United States to become even more deeply engaged so far as operational matters are concerned: training, exercise, access to ports and facilities, pre-positioning of stores and the like. And there's more work to be done on this front. This is a very important development so far as our operational cooperation with the United States is concerned. We also, Mr Speaker, obviously spoke about our immediate challenge in Afghanistan. Shared assessment that we continue to be on track for transition by 2014 and commence the discussion of the post-transition presence by the United States, by Australia and the international community. I also had the opportunity, Mr Speaker, to speak to the Defence Secretary about some capability issues, including the Joint Strike Fighter, C-17s and submarines. Mr Speaker, this was a most successful and productive meeting amongst friends. This is an alliance which has served us well for 60 years and will continue to serve us well into the future.